Hi everyone! It has been a while since I have made a video here, and a while since I've done one in the United States. I'm back in the US. Here I am. And I wanted to leave you guys a video to talk about hypnosis and a little bit more about limiting beliefs as well. I don't think I've mentioned that before, and I did want to go into it. I said I would leave a video up on the page before I went to India, and then I sort of got caught up. So this is me doing it now. So for anyone who has never experienced it before, hypnosis is an altered state of consciousness. So it's similar to what you'd experience in something like a meditation or one of those states that you get into. For example, if you're in what they refer to as like a flow state, or a state where you lose track of time. For example, you might get in your car and drive to work. Let's say you have like a 20-minute drive to work. You might get there and then realize that you don't actually remember any of the drive. So maybe you were in your head, or maybe you were listening to music, whatever it was. That is another example, just a really simple example of an altered state of consciousness. So hypnosis is just like that. It's nothing big or scary. It's not about mind control or anything like that. But the reason why it's important is because it allows you to access something that we don't normally have access to. So from the time you get up in the morning until the time your head hits the pillow at night, generally we like to think that we're in control of our behaviors and our actions. Let's say you make a choice to, buy something or get upset with somebody. It's common that we rationalize these choices by saying, oh, well, maybe I needed this because of, maybe I had a bad day, and so I rationalized buying something because I thought I needed a pick-me-up or whatever, and maybe I got mad at a coworker because I felt like they said something that wasn't justified. Okay, whatever it is. We often have this story behind why we do the things we do that we think are quite rational. But in reality, a lot of our behavior, so much of our behavior, even just like the smallest mannerisms, okay, that we have, are often largely subconscious. So there are things that we don't even have control over, and things that we may not even realize we're doing. That's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to change. I think there's a saying, it's 27 days to break a habit, and the reason why there are sayings like this and why it's so difficult for us to change on a conscious level is because we really need that subconscious help. If real change is going to be implemented, it really needs to happen at that subconscious level. So if you're doing something, for example, for 27 days, eventually what you're doing is you're taking something consciously and you're making it subconscious because you're using repetition. So this is really important because a lot of us have something called limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are these little ideas that we have about ourselves, about the world, that tend to get in the way. What I mean by that is you might have a limiting belief. Let's say you are like 5 or 6 years old, and you're with a friend maybe, okay? And your friend says to you, you're really bad at math. When you're 5 or 6 years old, you don't yet have the same brain capacity, of course, as you do when you're older. And not only that, but you're actually in a different brainwave state. So at 5 or 6, you would be in either the alpha or the theta brainwave state, which means that when a message comes in, it goes pretty much straight to the subconscious, and you don't actually have the ability yet to decipher, okay, is this piece of information true, or is this just something that somebody else has said? instead, that information just goes right into that sea of subconscious messages that's kind of waiting behind the scenes. And that's true for the opposite as well. So similar situation could happen and somebody might say, hey, you're amazing at math. And that would be the message that's taken in. And then as you get older, you have this big melting pot, okay, of all these different messages that are going on behind the scenes. And they can start to shape the way that we see ourselves, the way that we see the world, the way that we see other people. So you might grow older and always have this idea that, yeah, I'm really good at math, or maybe I'm not so good at math. The thing that changes when you're about 7 or 8 is that your brainwave states do change, and you actually develop the ability to decipher what is a real message and what is something that, you know, may or may not be true. So let's say if you're 15, or you're 26, or you're 35, okay, and somebody says to you, you're really bad at math, you have a chance here to look at that piece of information and say, you know, maybe I just made a mistake. That doesn't mean I'm bad at math. Or you might look at the same piece of information and say, like, yeah, like math isn't really my strong suit, but I'm good at other things, okay, and it doesn't really matter. So at this point, you're able to have a better understanding of what's true and what's just an idea or just somebody else's thought. So the reason why this is important now, if those limiting beliefs come in a lot of times when we're very young, is that they don't get taken out the way that we would probably like them to be taken out. And a lot of times they actually stay with us and they follow us as we get older. And this becomes a problem because then we get all these kind of limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough, okay? Or I'm not smart enough, I'm not this enough. We get beliefs about our relationships with other people, and that's when it starts to become problematic. And if this sounds familiar to you, don't worry, because it's the case for most of people, I would say. Most people in the world have some kind of limiting beliefs that I'm sure they would like to change, or maybe they haven't even realized that they have. And it's not something that, you know, we one day wake up and suddenly my views about the world are perfect, you know? It's kind of a day-by-day thing, and it's kind of an unfolding as we realize what these beliefs are. So the most important thing is awareness. Once we can figure out what these limitations are, then we can start to make them conscious, and then we can start to work on changing them on a subconscious level. Hypnosis is awesome because it allows us to do this in a way that's really effective, and also a way that doesn't really have any side effects. And it's also something that works with you as opposed to working against you. A lot of other strategies, you know, you might feel like you have to, like let's say you want to get in shape or something, you might dedicate a certain chunk of time every single day for 5 weeks or 6 weeks or however long it is to getting in shape. And you're going to be working hard during this time to get yourself in shape. Hypnosis is not like that. It actually works with you, and it is something that generally, at least in my experience, I've always found it to be enjoyable for other people. And they come out of hypnosis feeling like they've just had, you know, like a nice, relaxing experience. It's not something that needs to be challenging. It's fast and it's effective. So it's not the only way. I won't say that hypnosis is the be-all, end-all, but it is a way that we have of accessing that subconscious realm and creating real change in our lives. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you want to know more about hypnosis, or if you have any specific questions, I'm more than happy to try to answer them for you. But yeah, just want to give you guys some more information on it, and thank you so much. So I will see you later, and enjoy your Wednesday. Bye.